everybody, welcome to Sold Out Online. I am glad you are here today. We are going to start off with some pictures. I want you to take a look at this first picture. What do you see in that picture? Most of you probably see a woman with her head turned to the side. Here's kind of like a fancy plume on her hat or her head. But if you look really close, there's actually another picture within that picture. And it is a picture of an old woman. So don't you kind of have to, like, your eyes kind of be soft to see it? Right here is the old woman. She's facing you. Right here is her nose. Here's eyelashes. This is her mouth. Here's her hair. Do you see it? All right, I got another one for you. Are you ready? Here's this one. What do you see? What do you see? Most of you probably see two men's faces facing one another. But again, if you let your eyes kind of relax, right here in the middle is a vase. Do you see it? If you don't, pause your video and get it to work so you can, because it's pretty cool how these work. All right, here's another one for you. You're going to be like, duh, I know what that is. What is it? That's an elephant. It's so cute. Here's my question for you. How many legs does the elephant have? Aha! Oh, good luck on counting that one. At first glance, it's an elephant, right? But if you start looking, I counted 8 legs. And you don't see that at first. It's not until you really look closely and study it or have somebody point it out to you that you even see that in the first place. All right, here's another one. Here's another picture of a person. Do you guys see the girl, again, kind of face to the side? She's got her hat on and something in her hair. You see it? Or do you see another old woman? Because right here is the old woman. She's kind of a bump on her nose. Here's her eye, here's her mouth, here's her chin. Do you see it? Isn't that weird how this works? All right, let's see. I got 2 more. What do you got there? Do you see the bunny rabbit? What do you see? Maybe you see a duck. Or do you see the bunny rabbit and here's his ears? Isn't that weird? Okay, one more. Let's get it ready for you here. This one's easier to see at a distance. Do you see Jesus? He's there. Amongst all those blops and dots, here he is. Here's his face right here. Here's his eyes, mouth, beard. Do you see it? Isn't that wild? I think stuff like this is so cool. Optical illusions. We don't see it at first glance, or we see one thing at first glance, but then we see something totally different as we study it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Often we kind of are like these optical illusions. We present ourselves one way. It's what everybody sees, but really, it's not really who we are. For example, I think we've all done this before. You're having a horrible day. Your head is hung low, your chin is dragging on the ground. It's like the worst day ever. And then somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, how you doing today? And all of a sudden you pop your shoulders back, you put your head up, you just put on this amazing pearly white smile and you're like, I'm great, how are you? That is not how you really are, right? You're totally not feeling that way, and yet you presented yourself as something different than what you were really feeling. We call that frontin'. We're putting on a front to look one way when we're really something different. Here's another example, picking your nose. Most of you would never pick your nose in public, correct? Yeah. But go into your bedroom, close the door, and it is a free-for-all. Dig for all your worst. See how much gold you can really get. We would never do that in front of people, and yet, admit it, you've done it, we do that behind closed doors. Or have you ever known somebody that you really respected? Maybe it was a movie star or a sports person, maybe it was a teacher or a family member, and you respected them greatly, and then you found out that there was a part of their life you knew nothing about and you were so disappointed. We knew a lady who was a wonderful Christian woman, super involved in the church, served the Lord, had a husband, several kids, and she was she was a wonderful Christian lady. Come to find out, what we didn't know was that she had met a guy online. And on the weekends, she would leave her husband and her children and go to a hotel in a different city, meet the guy online, and spend the whole weekend at the hotel with this guy, and then come back home and live this wonderful Christian life in front of everybody else during the week. And then she got herself pregnant with the other guy's kid, and it all came out, yada, yada, yada. Talk about major fronting on that one, right? And it's such a disappointment when we find out that somebody is living that kind of life. As Christians, God has called us to live a life not affronting. He wants us to live a life of purity and honesty and integrity. So whether we're behind closed doors or we're out in public, we are the same person living that life of purity, honesty, and integrity. So how do we live that kind of life? I mean, how do I do that? Behind closed doors and out in front of people? 1 Peter, I told you guys I love Peter. 1 Peter 3 talks about that. It's 1 Peter 3, 11 and 12. 1st and 2nd Peter, where are you? Here he is. All right, 1 Peter. It's actually, we're going to start at verse 10. It says, if you love life, if you want to see good days, okay, that's me. I want to love life. I want to enjoy it every day. I want to see good days. So he's talking to me. Then keep your tongue from evil and your lips from deceitful speech. Wow. So if I want to love life, if I want to see good days, then I need to make sure that my words and my actions are not deceitful. And isn't that what we're doing when we put on a front and act a certain way, but we really are something different? I'm being deceitful. It says here, don't do that. Don't be deceitful. Instead, turn from evil. Turn from that wrong that you're doing and instead do good. So don't do the thing you're doing behind closed doors. Don't keep putting on that Christian front. Instead, do good. Seek peace and pursue it. This might sound like a soundbite from Wake Up Club if you remember. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous. Okay, I want the eyes of the Lord on me. I want him looking out for me and watching me. And his ears are attentive to their prayers. Okay, I want God listening to me when I'm talking. I want him listening to what's going on in my life. I want his attentive ears towards me. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Okay, not what I want. I don't want God's face against me. I want him to be for me. And I want to be serving him and loving him and following him. So if I want to love life, if I want to enjoy it and have good days, then I need to make sure I'm not being deceitful in any part of my life, in my speech or my actions. I need to be sure that I'm turning away from evil and wrongdoing, that I'm instead doing good. I'm seeking peace with God and with others, and I'm pursuing it with all that's in me. And then God can look upon me as righteous, not because of what I'm doing, but because of how he's working in my life. And then that way his face is turned towards me, his eyes are upon me, and his ears are attentive to me. I love that. That's how we live a life of no frontin'. So today, I have 2 Bible verses for you to look up. Look up these verses and write down how can you use these verses to help you live a life of purity and honesty and integrity. Apply them to your life today. Look at your life and say, where am I fronting? Where am I putting on a front or a happy face or acting a certain way that I'm not really living? Use these scriptures to help you. We also have a video. If you look at down below, you'll see on the link for Joe. It's a short video by Joe called Christian Frontin', and he brings up some of these points as well as some others about living a life of who you really are and using your Christian friends around you. So watch that video as well. You know, if you're living a life that's different behind closed doors than it is out in front of people, a life that you don't want others to see or know about, there's a reason you're hiding it, and it's because you know it's wrong. You need to do some serious self-examination. You need to come before God and you need to confess that. Find a strong Christian, somebody you can use as a confidant for accountability to help you, and then change your ways. Don't keep living that life. Don't keep fronting and acting a certain way out here, but really you're living different back here. Be the same both places, living a life of purity and honesty and integrity. God has a good, amazing life for you. Take it, grab onto it, and live it. I hope you have a good week. See you next week at Sold Out Online. Bye.